Hi, Jamie Guyland, Senior Instructor with the Raspberry Golf Academy at Royal Manchester Golf Links. Today I've got a 50-yard shot. I've laid up to 50 yards on a par 5. I've measured it exactly. It's 50 yards exactly. And I've got to try to hit this shot close. Now, I've kind of changed my tune on this stuff. I used to try to get my players and myself to try to lay up to what would be that perfect stock, probably most lofted wedge or the next wedge down, lob wedge or sand wedge. Full swing. So I would try to lay it up to, for me, like 90 yards, which would be a full lob wedge. But I've kind of changed my tune on this over the last few years, and I feel like now I can get it closer with 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards than I could from 90, 100. So how do you hit it 50 yards? I mean, if you're not hitting a full shot 50 yards, some of you might be, but if you're not, if your full shot, full lob wedge is going 70, 80, 90, 100 yards, how do you hit it 50 with any sort of predictability? Well, you've got to control a couple variables here. You've got to control length and speed of swing, and you really have to control loft. So you've got to not only pick out that club in your bag, and for me today I'm going to try to hit it with my 57-degree loft, but it's about how do you deliver it to it at impact. We've talked about this before. Length and speed with a given dynamic loft. It's all about dynamic loft. So we know the ideal wedge launch should be about 30 degrees, somewhere between 25 and 35, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're going to have a consistent amount of loft when you try to hit these and when you practice these. You're going to see similar heights on these. Contact is always important, but similar heights, so that's telling me that the loft and the attack angle is similar, and length and speed is crucial. So there's different systems. Some players are very feel-oriented. They're sort of the artistic side of the brain, and they can just kind of feel the length and speed back. Other players are going to use more of the Dave Pell's method, where you're thinking along the lines of a clock with either the left arm or the shaft position. Either way is fine. I mean, you got to find what works with the way you think and the way your mind works, because, again, this has got to be your thing, your system. But you got to come up with a system in order to be able to get these close, and you do have to find a place to practice these. So let me see if I can hit one. I've got 50 yards. I'm going to see if I can hit this shot close from 50. So I'm kind of implementing both sides of the brain here. I'm definitely thinking more feel, how would I sort of toss it underhanded, and a little bit of, where would my left arm go in the backswing. Kind of trying to blend those two things. Let me see if I can get it right here. Get it to finish around the hole. So pretty lucky there. I wouldn't say I normally hole those shots, but you get them close, and every now and then they might go in. So try experimenting with those in practice first. Work on those. Try to work on your length and speed with a given loft to control your feel. But just as a methodology, I've started to change that idea of where do I want to lay it up on either par 5s or shorter par 4s. And I feel like now I can start to get those kind of shots closer than I would that full wedge. So give that a try, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.